Hello, friends. I wanted to tell you a funny story about my mom and dad. When, what is so funny? We may cut this. I'm just gonna keep talking. All right? Okay. About the time I was born, I think. About the time I was born, my parents were living. Yes, you can. You'll be part of the amusement of the first part before it gets boring. The part where people, keep watching. Okay, see what happens next. All right. Okay. So my parents were living on Davis Mountain about the time I was born. About the time I was born. Okay. So this would have been about 1950 or 52 or so, all right? My dad had a habit of staying after payday at the officers club for stag night. And of course that included some gambling time. Gambling. So, also around that time, my mom had at least 4 kids at home, little kids that she was raising. Probably a pretty modest-sized house there on base. And she started reporting to my dad that, oddly, she's been dropping things. Dropping things. What?
You've told this story before on video.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. I haven't, Pam. Okay? And if I did, I got something to add this time, all right?
Okay.
Okay? So, my mom told my dad this story, and he said, "Why don't you go to the hospital and tell your doctor about it?" So she did. She went and had an office visit, an appointment with her doctor, and then she came home. And the doctor didn't call my mom back. The doctor called my dad back. So my dad went in there and had this consultation with the doctor, and the doctor told him the reason why she's dropping things is because she's having a nervous breakdown. So he said, well, what can I do about it? And the doctor said, you've got to find a way to relieve her stress. Take her on a vacation, take her on a trip. Relieve that stress. So the following Friday, he comes home, wakes her up after stag night with all this money, just a big pile of money. And he wakes her up and he said he finally won at stag night. So the next morning, he takes her out front where there is a shiny new Packard. Shiny new, I think it might have been eggshell, cream colored Packard convertible. What?
What year?
I said it was about 1950 or 1952. Okay? So, he tells her they're going to take a trip. So I don't know if they get a sitter or if they leave us home with my older sister Maureen. Says they're going to go to the Grand Canyon. In fact, I don't know if I have a picture of it. So they take this drive, and this whole time, my mom just can't believe what's going on. The new car, all this cash, the trip, all this attention and time with him. So they're driving to the Grand Canyon, and they stop at Saks Fifth Avenue in Phoenix. My mom says, "What are you stopping here for?" And he goes, "So that you can buy a wardrobe." I think it was a whole wardrobe. I could be wrong. It might just be a coat. That's what I remember of the story. And so she goes and she buys a new wardrobe, gets back in the Packard, and drives up to the Grand Canyon. So when they get up to the Grand Canyon, I don't know if they spent the night in Oak Creek or something, but when they get up to the Grand Canyon, my dad parks the car, I guess in the parking lot. He walks over to the edge of the, vista point at the Grand Canyon or whatever, and my mom is still sitting in the car. So he goes back to the car and he says, "What are you in the car? Why are you sitting in the car? Come on out. I want to show you. Come on, we drove all this way to see it, to see the Grand Canyon." She wouldn't come out of the car, and she wouldn't unlock the doors of the car. Reason being is that after all of this strange behavior on the part of my dad, these things she couldn't believe, once they got up to the Grand Canyon, she got it in her head that his intention was to kill her, was to throw her into the Grand Canyon. Now some people might say, "Well, gee, that's a terrible story that you tell about your parents, Dad." Jim, terrible story that you tell about your parents. The redeeming element about it is that every word of it is true, or at least as far as I recollect, and from the mouth of my own mother, who told it more than once, on more than one occasion, I'm pretty sure, because I have my own version. And that's the end of the story.